It's a sunny day in Sydney, Australia, and we're doing Grassroots Garage. It's what we do. We like to cruise around. I don't really want to tell you where I've come today. I want it to be a surprise, and I'm trying to keep it a bit low key. Yeah, right. We've come to Pac. We're back. Okay, come on.
On this episode of Grassroots Garage, we're at the legendary Pac Performance Workshop. As a couple of punk kids in Penrith that love cars, Pac Performance were one of our idols. In the 80s, the Rayan brothers Rocky and George were racing two-stroke motorbikes. One fateful day, Rocky went for a drive in a 13B Bridgeport. As is the case with so many people, from that very first drive he was hooked. In 1991, Padstow Automotive Centre was born. For well over 20 years, they've been building some of the baddest rotaries in the world. And not only race cars, some of the most high quality Australian street cars going around today. To visit Pac and spend a few hours with the crew was quite special. We even managed to get a couple of scoops out of Rocky.
Rocky, I really appreciate your time.
Welcome.
Thanks for chatting to us. I know you're a busy man. Tell us about your workshop.
Yeah, we build and restore rotary cars. We've been doing it since '91 now. So we moved to a new premises about 5 years ago, just because we ran out of room at the last place. But business has been really good. It's a unique market, just modifying these Mazdas and rotary engines. Found in the last half a dozen years that as the Mazda parts become obsolete or not available anymore, we've been manufacturing parts to keep the rotary engine alive. So crankshaft, gears, apex seals, end plates.
With a high boost, high horsepower rotary, reliability is the key. This is something Pac prides himself on. We headed over to the machine shop and Rocky introduced us to Billet by Pac center plates.
Okay, so from here.
Yeah.
So most of the time you do a little bridging here?
Yeah, everybody's got their own ideas of where they want the Bridgeport, how long they want it. I want it here, down there, this long, that long. So we leave that up to the customer.
What's your personal preference? Where do you like it?
You know, like if it's a street car, I run a small bridge. If it's a race car, I run a big size bridge. And look, you can't have one thing which ticks all the boxes, you know?
Yeah.
You put a big bridge, you lose a little bit of this. You put a small bridge, you might gain here, but you lose there. So it's all a little bit of give and take. For a street car, you want everything to come on sort of nice and early, be done with, low in the RPM range. But these things here, these are all for the US. We've got a couple here for Australia, but the Americans are buying these. They don't give you any extra power because essentially it's the same port, whatever. But what they do is they give you the reliability and strength that you don't get with cast iron, you know. So a lot of the American guys, they're not running water in their engines, and they might get 1 run or might get 10 runs, but the cast iron plate eventually breaks, you know. Whereas these plates, we've been building them since 2006. We haven't had a single failure, you know. So if you have a catastrophic engine disaster, you would send me back this plate. We would repair it, weld it, machine it, recoat it, and it's good to go again. So we've never thrown away a single plate.
Wow, what is that?
Yeah, you buy it once and you're good to go. Forever.
What's these little ones?
That's the intermediate one.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a front. That's a front. This is the intermediate. And these are rear, you know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that it wouldn't be. How long away are you from just doing everything? How long until you're doing the complete?
Well, the next chapter for us is going to be the rotor housings. Now the machining and tooling up on that is pretty expensive, but it's getting to a point now where the rotor housings. Well, at the moment the rotor housings are still fairly readily available, and they price competitive.
Fair,
But
okay,
as that starts to dwindle down, then of course the market's going to open up, and then we'll step in and start making rotor housing.
So why would these are the parts that wear out, or these are the parts that have the failures?
They're the parts that have the failures.
Okay.
Like if a rotor housing fails, the engine doesn't run anymore. But when these things were failing, they were dropping water on the ground, cars were crashing. So you don't really want that.
Okay. All right.
So we've been able to make about, we 1,200 horsepower with a 2-rotor with these, and the rotor housings and rotors are still fine. So at the moment, there's no need for a rotor housing or a rotor. As the parts become obsolete from ASDA, well then we're fabricating and machining and producing parts to keep the industry going.
Awesome. That's really cool. And you take a car from an absolute shell, and you'll take it all the way through to being a 9-second street car.
Yeah, well, I mean, 9-second street car used to be the goal. It's like 8-second cars.
8-second cars now?
Absolutely. Guys come in, they bring their cars as shells. I mean, you would have had a look around.
Yeah.
We do all the fab work. We do all the mini tubbing. We do all the chassis mods, cross members, radiators, intercoolers, manifolds, engine builds, the whole lot. Diffs, transmissions, brakes, suspension, ball joints, tie rod ends, wiring, complete car, ground up. Guys come in with a shell, we do all the fab work, dummy everything up, get everything, the car almost complete, ready to go. Then we strip it again, and then it goes off to a panel shop to get all the body work and panel work done. In the meantime, the car gets all its proper engine built, its proper transmission, its axles, its diff center, the whole kit and caboodle. Then by the time it's finished from a panel shop, comes back and all the parts are ready so we can assemble it. It goes to a trimmer. They do roof lining, boot carpets, and all the trim. And basically we can turn over a car provided that the bodywork is done in about probably two months to if all the parts are available and financially the customer is ready, or we can stretch it out to 12 months depending on different people. They have different budgets, etc., etc. So we've been pressed. We've built cars in 8 weeks, sort of ground up.
Wow.
We have the whole team on them. But look, the fact that we have everything in-house, from machining to engine balancing to downling, porting, powder coating. We've got 2 fabbies. We've got half a dozen staff here working on the shop floor, electricians, etc., etc. So we can, one, we keep an eye on what's going on, so we've got good quality control. And 2, we don't have to outsource anything, so that we can be very, very reliable with our time frame. You know? So, and people these days being really busy, and time is a valuable commodity. So they will often send their cars, and then we build their project for them, and they just pick them up, ready to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you, when you started in '91, was this the game? Was this the goal to end up here?
Look, no, I mean, it started as a hobby, and we were just building engines for friends and just keep ourselves going. But it's gotten to this, and no, that wasn't the original plan. The original plan was just to have something that we can make a living from, and it's grown to this. And one of the things we wanted to do when we first started was we wanted to be the fastest rotary powered car in the world, which we did.
Here's some footage of that world record pass, with Rocky behind the wheel of the Mazda 6. After this run, it would become the fastest rotary powered vehicle anywhere in the world.
Qualifying yesterday, absolutely amazing. It's actually only a 3/4 chassis car. Pass 163 mile an hour. 675 with a 2. Pac Performance, #1 rotary powered race car on planet Earth.
It's very humbling actually to have people that come and buy your merchandise, your clothes. They're supporting you, and they're walking around wearing it, and they're proud. So for us, it is very humbling, and it's very satisfying to see the grandstands full with black and yellow with Pac Performance merch and umbrellas and gear like that. And we were in the US and Puerto Rico last year and the beginning of this year, and we did a lot of merchandise sales. So our brand is pretty global, so we're very, very happy with that. It's not just like Padstow and New South Wales and even Queensland or Australia anymore. It's the world over.
And you've got guys, $200,000 in one of these cars, and they want to put your sticker on the side of their car.
Absolutely.
Which is,
Look,
must be amazing.
and I'll just dispel a rumour. When we build these cars, we don't force anybody to run our Pac Performance decals or stickers on the side. This is something that they want. It's not part of the build process where you have to run that. It's actually people build their cars and then they want that sticker on there. And so again, we're very proud to be in that position where people want to advertise your product. And I suppose we don't put them stickers on cars unless we build the car completely from the ground up. So normally a car with those stickers on the side tells you that there's a bit of quality there. Now we've overseen the whole build of the car, and there's a little bit more esteem or value or whatever associated with that.
You wouldn't want to see one broken down with the big Pac sticker, would you? So that's why you make sure you build it.
And people, they spend their hard-earned money, so they want something that they can go to the racetrack and they can race it all day, and then they can drive it home. And so we pride ourselves in giving them the most reliable, cost-effective, and powerful package, so that these guys can go out and have fun and enjoy themselves with these cars. So there's a lot of bad stigma around about the rotary engine not being reliable, and that's something that we've wanted to dispel for a long time. So when we're in the US racing, we absolutely made it our priority to make sure that we go through an event without having to replace an engine, or we do scheduled engine changes. So we will do like a certain amount of runs on an engine, and then take the engine out and replace it with another one, just so that we get to the engine before it's actually going to fail. Because having an engine fail in public is probably not really what we want the public to see. We want to have that engine which is reliable. And look, I mean, the race cars are all over. They do scheduled servicing, so we're doing the same thing.
Nice, yeah, definitely. And why did you originally, way back now, why did you get into rotaries? Why rotaries?
Yeah, look, it started. I used to race two-stroke bikes with my brother George, and one of my friends said to me, "Look, there's an engine in a car that doesn't have a cam or a valve or a head," and I said, "Look, yeah, I'd be interested," because of course with two-stroke bikes we used to rebuild them every couple of hours, I suppose, and they didn't have cams or rockers or any of that bullshit or crap or whatever, So when I went for a ride in one of these cars with a Bridgeport, it felt like it had a power band like my two-stroke bike. I said, you know what, I want to have a look at the one. So I bought an engine the next day and I pulled it apart, and that was it. I never ever looked back. So it was rotary engines
from the first drive.
Yep, from the first drive. So
how good's that?
That's where it started.
Yeah.
So when I first opened up my shop in '91, this was a toolbox I went and bought second hand. I paid $28 for it. Yeah. And I paid, I think, $16 for this socket set.
Still here, still getting used.
And I still got it. And we've got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment and $500,000 worth of dyno and dyno room. But I still have this here.
What brand is it?
Rothenberg.
Yeah.
Like it's a nothing brand,
Yeah, but still going strong.
When we first started, we didn't have a lot, so we had to make do with what we had. So we started with a jack and 4 jack stands and half a 44-gallon drum that we cut in half, so we could put cleaning fluid. I think it was petrol back then to clean the parts. So that's where it started.
Powered by Pac-Man up here, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's the original sticker from.
Look at the phone number.
Yeah.
724-7916. It's not even the right amount of numbers.
No, it's not. Yeah, look, and right from day one, we advertised. From day one, we made an effort to advertise our product. So it was powered by Pac-Man and Pac Performance. So from even in the early days, we did our we were very prominent with the cars we did, making sure that people knew who built it. So I think, and that's probably attributed to some of the success that we have now. So.
Did you just have a natural, like, what made you think to do that? Like, I'm sorry, did you have a background in advertising or marketing? It just sort of evolved that way?
It just evolved that way, yeah. Look, I mean, the first car, the Pac-Man car, was a yellow RX-3, which was a proof report and made a ton of noise, and we wanted to eat everything on the street, so hence the Pac-Man number plate. When we started business, well, of course we couldn't call it Pac-Man because that's a registered thing, whatever. So we nailed it down to Padstow Automotive Centre, so hence Pac Performance, and the rest is
There you
history.
go. The rest is history, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, Sydney has no shortage of fast rotaries either, with those of Rocky and George of Pac Performance probably the most known.
Rotaries are our specialty. We eat rotaries, breathe rotaries. At the time, 20Bs were in cars were it wasn't a common thing. So the fact that we had one back then, registered and driving on the street, was it was a credit to the shop and to the engineering even that we had back then. So that car unfortunately got sold and to one of our customers, but the RX2 we've retained, so we still got that car, and that's probably have to be my favourite.
Yeah, fantastic.
This is our main weapon at the moment at Pac Performance. It used to be the original car that we raced for a very long time. I think probably put our name on the map, and it's been in hiding for a while, but we've just got it up and running again, and we hope to be running in mid to low nines with this very soon.
What were you just saying?
Well, my son now is at an age where he can start driving, so he's been really, really itchy, and the plan is to get the RX2 back out. So we're just waiting for a little bit of room in the shop, and we'll bring the car in. So we've been getting all the parts ready for it, but we intend to have the car back out and running within the next 6 to 12 months. So yeah, look out for it. It's going to be
James over there.
yeah.
That's on you, mate. I expect to see videos and
Well, we're gonna document the build, you know, because there's always a lot of interest, and I mean, it's not gonna be too far removed from what it was back then. So, but of course, we need to just upgrade suspension, steering, brakes, kind of stuff to what's acceptable today. You know?
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's still got it was last registered in November of 2000, so and it's sat around for the last 17 years. So yeah, we're just going to come in, get a new wiring job on it, upgrade all the brakes, suspension, change all the ball joints, tire rotors and that, and then we're going to put a new engine transmission combination in it, and hopefully, like I said, 6 to 12 months we should be up and running.
You're going to make a lot of people happy, I think.
I think
Keep a
that's
lot
out
of people
Yeah,
happy.
you know, so we were trying to do some street duties. Like
Yeah.
we used to drive that car on the street back in the day, so we intend to do the same thing now. Just go out for a drive and yeah, I suppose.
That's fantastic. And it'll be amazing to see how the engineering's evolved over time from what you were doing back then to doing now.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I was just looking in the engine bay the other day and had the boot out and opened the door and sat in the car, and I'm thinking, how did we even get away with any of these back then? You know, it's crazy. So yeah, I can't leave it exactly the way it was, but like the outside, I'm not really gonna touch it. I kind of want to leave it the same as it was when it was last out. But of course, underneath it all, it has to be kind of current specs. So you know, we need the right brakes and the right suspension and wiring and data acquisition, everything that we use by today. But the outside and you know, from the outside looking in, it's going to look like it was back then. But of course, underneath it all should be like 2017 specs. So
That's
Awesome.
Yeah, we can't wait. It's awesome. Very cool. Well, Rocky, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for letting us have a tour of your shop. Yeah, really cool.
Well, that wraps up another episode. A massive thank you to Rocky, James, and the rest of the crew at Pac Performance. Now, if you want to go check out their workshop for yourself, they're having an open day Wednesday, August 30. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.